stage continuing to coast. After stage separation, after main engine cutoff and stage separation.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
It actually continues on an upward trajectory. Its maximum height gets about 132 kilometers. And right about now, it should have reached its apogee and now beginning to make its descent, coasting using its grid fins.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
Good call out there, indicating nominal trajectory. Everything's looking good for both the first and second stages. Like I mentioned before, first stage will be performing 2 burns, the first being the entry burn, where 3 of the M1D engines will reignite. This helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. About 2 minutes later, the second stage will happen, or excuse me, the second burn will happen, and that is the landing burn. And this is where a single engine will reignite and bring the vehicle speed down rapidly as it prepares to land on our drone ship. Today's landing attempt will be with the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You, which is currently located 350 nautical miles northeast of the Cape. The 60 Starlink satellites that we have on board today will be joining our constellation of nearly 700 already on orbit. Again, these satellites are designed to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to us Earthlings. This is especially useful in places where good internet is hard to access or impossible. So not only rural areas, but thinking about airplanes and ships will also be able to
Stage 1
receive
FTS is saved.
high-speed, reliable internet.
Stage 1, entry burn startup.
So there we have visual confirmation that the first of 2 burns, the entry burn, has begun. And this will last for about another 5 seconds.
Stage 1, entry burn shutdown.
All right, shutdown of those, again, that was performed with 3 engines. Checking in on the second stage, everything continues to look nominal there. Trajectory is looking good.
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
The next
Stage
event
1,
that we
entry transonic.
The next event we have coming up in about 30 seconds is the first stage landing burn.
Throttling down.
There we heard the call out for MVAC throttling down in preparation for second engine cutoff, which will happen just before T plus 9 minutes.
Terminal guidance.
Stage 1, landing burn startup.
All right, we heard the call out that the landing burn for stage 1 has begun. This will last about 20 seconds.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy.
All right, visual confirmation
Stage
there
1, landing confirmed.
that this booster has landed for a second time. There we see a live shot from our drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Of Course I Still Love You. Hear the clapping and celebration of some of our first shift technicians here in the building. Second stage continues to look good.
Nominal orbital insertion.
All right, and there we just heard the call out for good orbit for second stage. So at this point, stage 2 is going to coast in this orbit for just a few minutes. During this time, it will start to spin along its central axis, giving the Starlink satellites the momentum that they need to deploy and space themselves out over time after deployment.
Expected loss of signal.
We're going to
Cape.
take a quick break here, and we'll be back at T plus 14 minutes and 15
Acquisition
seconds.
of signal
Stick with us.
Newfoundland. Expected loss of signal Bermuda.
Welcome back to our webcast for Starlink this morning. We had an on-time liftoff from Cape Canaveral and saw a successful landing by Stage 1 made on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, out in the Atlantic Ocean. Second stage has been coasting along now as we are awaiting the deployment of the 60 Starlink satellites that you see stacked up there on your screen. So that deployment will be coming up here in about 10 seconds.
Starlink deploy confirmed.
There on your screen, we see the Starlink satellites have deployed, and using the momentum that they got from the slight spin around about the central axis. What a beautiful sight. Shortly, these satellites will deploy their solar arrays, and over the next few days and weeks, they will distance themselves out from each other and use their onboard ion thrusters to make their way to operational orbit. And with that, we'll be bringing our webcast to a close. Thank you to the Range and the FAA for supporting today's mission. If you're interested in getting future news about our Starlink service, head on over to starlink.com and sign up for updates. Follow our website and social media platforms for updates on our next missions and milestones. Until then, have a good one.
Expected loss of signal Newfoundland and acquisition of signal Goonhilly.